Okay, so let's dive in. We've got this source material here. It's called The Whispering Shadow Subway, Late Night Whispers.
Right. And it seems pretty clear right from the get-go about what it's trying to do.
Yeah, the ambition seems to be stated pretty plainly.
Absolutely. It says its goal is to, deliberately build this atmosphere of fear using a mysterious presence, these vague whispers.
And the setting is key, isn't it?
Definitely. The solitude of a subway station late at night.
It paints a picture, for sure. The city's busiest station, supposedly. But we're talking 2 a.m.
Empty.
Right, empty. And just one person there, Lisa, this young woman, just on her phone. It really drives home that feeling of urban loneliness.
Yeah, that isolation in a place usually packed with people. It makes the space feel huge, almost threateningly empty.
Okay, so into this emptiness, the source introduces the first weird element.
The shadow. Lisa notices this dim shadow way down at the end of the platform.
But it's how it's described that's important, right?
Exactly. It moves strangely. It seems to be sort of floating.
Floating? Yeah. Like it has no mass. That's the detail that jumps out.
It's immediately unnatural. It signals this isn't just, some person lurking. It defies basic physics.
So it's not just a shadow, it's a wrong shadow.
Okay.
Right. And then, after this unsettling visual, the source adds the second element.
The whisper.
Right near her ear, it says. Close enough and cold enough to make her actually shiver.
That's quite physical.
Very. And it's not just quiet, it's indistinct. The description uses phrases like, dead soul trying to speak.
But incomprehensible.
Utterly. And that's crucial, I think. You get the physical sensation, the cold, but no information, no understandable threat.
So you can't process it logically.
Exactly. The fear just kind of sits there, inside. Its invasive sound combined with that uncanny sight.
In this totally desolate place. So Lisa looks around, sees no one, tries to rationalize it maybe.
Yeah, thinks maybe she's tired, mistaken, gets on the train when it arrives. Standard reaction, really.
But then
the twist. As the train pulls away, she looks back, and she sees the shadow again on the platform.
Standing there, looking right at her. The source says their eyes lock just for a second before she shuts hers tight.
Wow. Okay, so that progression is interesting.
It really is. Because the shadow disappearing allows for that brief moment of doubt, of rationalization.
They lose nothing.
Right. But seeing it again, especially as she's leaving, it confirms the fear. It suggests it's real, persistent.
It traps her with that feeling.
Precisely. This whole sequence, the setting, the specific nature of the shadow, the physical but meaningless whisper, the disappearance and reappearance, it's all crafted to build that sense of invisible fear the source mentions.
Yeah, it's less about a monster jumping out and more about unease. A feeling that something is deeply wrong.
Exactly. Dread built through sensory details that mess with your sense of reality rather than a clearly defined threat.
Right.
And that's really what this deep dive is about, looking at how these specific choices in the description work together.
Okay, so wrapping things up a bit. We've explored how this source uses these very specific elements. The weird, floating shadow, those cold, nonsensical whispers.
Amplified by the empty subway at 2 a.m.
And Lisa's whole experience, that sequence of seeing, doubting, then seeing again. It all seems designed to create this pervasive feeling of invisible fear.
Yeah, the terror is really located in the unexplained stuff, the sensory input that doesn't make sense, and the doubt that follows.
Which circles back to that core question the source seems to pose.
Was it just in her head? A mistake? Or was it something truly terrible?
And that ambiguity is the point, maybe.
Yeah.
It feeds into that theme of invisible fear.
Definitely. The horror isn't necessarily in a concrete monster, but in questioning your own perception, in the possibility that reality isn't quite solid.
So that leaves us with a final thought, something for you, the listener, to consider based on this material. What does it actually mean when the sources you encounter, like this one, present things that seem fundamentally impossible? A shadow without weight, a voice without a source.
And they push you to question the reality being presented.
Exactly. Is the real unsettling power in the thing described, or is it in the implication that maybe, just maybe, your own grip on reality might be less firm than you thought?